Today we're going to talk about another important subject that is bugging our community, and that topic is colorism and futurism. Over the last years, we've heard this new terminology called futurism. I never ever heard about it. Have you heard about it before?
No, it's all new. I didn't even know it exists.
Yeah, we are just creating bad languages and bad vibes to our community,
Exactly.
all in the name of segregation, unconscious segregation, because I don't think we are willfully doing it. We think it's cool using all of this jargon. I don't think that's a cool thing, is it?
No, it is making us hate ourselves even more.
Indeed.
People who are already hating on themselves, hearing this now would add insult to injury. It wouldn't help the situation.
Exactly. And folks have fought for years trying to bring us together. And what do? We start adding some negative terminology only to create more side of division, hatred, biasness, so many things that we're creating with these languages. And some of it, we're going to touch about when we are talking about this all-important topic. And so let's start. Let's kick off, Miss. Colorism and futurism. What is it to you and you think it is to our community?
To me, I believe colorism and futurism goes hand in hand because it's the same stigma, the same build-up of hatred. I just believe it goes hand in hand, even though colorism has been around longer than futurism. So that's my opinion. However, I've got the definition on colorism. But before I say that, I've got one thing here to say. Colorism is an unspoken secret that's lasted for generations within our Black community. And it's like a taboo subject. People don't really want to discuss it. As we said back in the UK, it's swept under the carpet.
Right.
But we need to address it. It's paramount. Anyway, I've got a definition by Alice Walker. She's an American author.
Right.
And she said colorism has been defined as a prejudicial or preferential treatment of same-race people based solely on their color. It is not racism, although there is a clear relationship between the two. It's a very thin line. That's my definition on colorism. I don't know if you want me to give my definition on futurism as well.
Yeah, go for it, babe.
My definition on futurism is a form of architectural design based around certain accentuated features. Basically, what this is saying is that society accepting or preferring certain features over others, such as European features over Afrocentric features.
Isn't it sad?
It is very sad. And the statistic that during my research, what I came across is that a lot of the women that are in the media eye, such as actresses and singers and what have you, a lot of them go under the knife and they have their nose job done just to fit in.
All in the name of European looking features. It's quite disgraceful and it's quite sad.
It is, because it's like you say your talent isn't enough.
It goes back to the mental health issue we talked about a few weeks ago, which of course we're going to touch upon. I want to also share with you what I find out. It's a shame because Monica pointed out some important points as well, some of which I'll capture because she's not here. So I'll steal some of her ideas and research as well. So what is colorism for those of you watching? And just as Aretha said, I'm just going to piggyback on that definition. It is a discrimination based on skin color. It is bias, it is a division, and it's caused classism. That's another terminology as well. Classism, you put people in different class in society. It disadvantaged people with darker skin color or skin tone. Research has linked colorism to smaller income, which is again very sad, lower marriage rates, pathetic, longer prison sentences in most European and American countries, and fewer job prospects. All in the name of you having a darker skin tone. And as Aretha earlier on talked about, it's close or almost linked to racism. This research talked about it must be fought with the same urgency as racism. I draw a conclusion to say I'll put them in the same bucket. or in the same scale as with racism.
Yep.
Because if you cannot give a job because of my skin tone, because I'm a shade darker than the brown bag test, you will sentence me to longer prison sentence because of my skin tone. That's racism.
Absolutely.
And if you cannot give me the job that I went to university to study for, and I've got loads of experience to prove it just because of my skin tone, I think that too is racism. It is sad that we have to go through all of these.
And as well, they said that you're a danger to society because of the color of your skin.
What else in terms of futurism did you find out? Because you talk about folks, especially those celebrities, are African American and African British or African folks are going under the knives to kind of do basic plastic surgery to have the European nose, even do their lips to get it thinner. Your beautiful lips, you thin it down.
Honestly. But the thing is, when the white counterpart does these things to themselves to have our African features, it's acceptable. It's okay within.
Isn't it a shame as well when you look at it? We are trying to be them and they are trying to be us. You put a line under the sun, 35 degrees, burning, skin tan. They're going into machine, trying to look like us. For some reason, we are not getting the message that it is not us that has the problem.
You see, the thing is, we have bought into their lives so far that we're the ones who are perpetrating and accepting.
We're making their dreams come true.
And they're basically laughing at us. They're having the tans, they're having the lip augmentation, they're having the buttocks.
Yeah, even using fake pad so that they have the curve, the big bum. And then we have a big bum, we go and do plastic surgery to reduce it. Hello?
It's like when Kim Kardashian did the plaits. It was a big thing. It's like
everyone wants,
and we've been doing it for hundreds of years.
However, if we do it, we seem to be going against their ethical rules, i.e. that hair is not permissible within a certain establishment. They have some sort of terminology, like you look too wild, you look too African.
What do you mean? What are we meant to look like if we're Africans? We can't help it. This is who we are. I love me. I want to look like me. I was blessed. So I have to listen.
But where let's touch on the origin of this sickness, because I call it a disease. Colorism and futurism, for me, after all the research and the discussion we've had over the past few days, I think it's a disease. I think it's a mental illness, a mental health issue. Where does it originate from? What's your research?
I believe it stems from the days of slavery. White slave master would rape the African woman, and they would conceive a child, and then that child, they would use them slave as well. However, they would have them as house slaves.
Right.
You see the divide and conquer. They would take the lighter skinned slaves in the house and whisper sweet nothing in their ears by telling them that they're better than their mother.
Right.
They're better than father. They're not like them. You understand? So that's, for me, that's where I believe the division came along.
So I hope you guys are understanding how this thing came about, as this colorism and futurism came about, how it was born. So it originated from the 1700s when slavery started, the division caused by rape and caused by skin color. In the last program, we talked about brown paper test. For you who have not watched those series or were not in that program, the brown paper test, I'm trying to give you an analogy here. I don't have anything brown, but I can find something that is brownish, so you can just understand what I mean. So this is almost brown, if you can see that. So what the master will do, he'll put it against my skin. If I am a shade lighter than this, I will walk in the house. If I'm a shade or shades darker than this, then I will walk in the plantation. So this is how it used to be. This is the strategy the master uses to divide us. So if they divide us, for sure they will conquer us. So this is the bottom line. We just want you to understand, for some of you who have not heard about this colorism and futurism.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the brown paperback test, it wasn't even just on the plantation it was done. It was done, I think, after they've been freed, it was done as well, like for church congregation. Like if you want, imagine you want to go and praise God and they're doing paperback tests on you.
Tests, yes.
And you call yourself a Christian. What sort of pastor are you? What sort of priest are you? What do you say? What message are you sending out? You know, you're preaching God, 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 holy, 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 but yet still, because of the color of my skin, I can't come and hear your sermon and listen to the word of God. You know, for me, that's they're contradicting themselves.
It is sad. It is sad because at the end of the day, it's the human race we should be looking at in serving one another, in treating each other with respect. But that has not materialized. And to this day, we add salt to the wound by bringing in colorism and amplifying colorism, because that's what we've done. You talked about the PTSS,
post-traumatic
slave, is the slave syndrome.
Basically, what the psychologist was saying is that this is what Black people suffers with, our ancestors and us along the line. You know, this is what we are suffering with today because of what happened to us during slavery. Well, our foreparents during slavery. And to be honest, it's like it's still happening today. They said it's been abolished, but really and truly, it's not, because systemic racism.
Well, if it has been, then why would we be crying out Black Lives Matter? It shows that it hasn't. It only went, as you said, it was hidden under the carpet. This year, it was rolled out again. And that's what we have in this conversation. So some of the things that was interested in your capturing of the origin of colorism, we touched on a bit, the slavery, the enslavers giving preferential treatments to slaves with fairer complexions. And darker skinned slaves walked in the field. Lighter skin walked indoors, in a manner of dividing us, dividing mother and fathers, mothers and children, and oftentimes sisters and brothers, because you're from the same mother, but unfortunately your mother was raped. So two became a mixed race. The 4 or 5 children, or even one child, is darker. So that child is then left by herself or by himself. So you guys, you can see the reason why the hatred as well is kind of resurfacing every century in our lives, because the darker skin tone girls, even in our community today, still didn't like or doesn't like to put up with the lighter skin tone. We have that prejudice way of thinking, either side, on both sides, that one is better than the other. And I don't know whether it happens with guys, whether guys look at it from this perspective, because I'm coming from mostly girls, how girls will perceive a lighter skin.
Guys do as well, because from the research I did as well, I mean, you find that the guys prefer to date lighter skinned girls.
Interesting.
Exactly. Or they would go for the white side. You know, it's either the white.
And why is that? I want you to touch a little bit on it for the benefits of the audience. Why do they prefer to go to the lighter side or the light-skinned woman other than the darker-skinned woman?
I believe it's what's been embedded in them from a young age. This is what, because children tends to do what they see, yeah? And if they're growing up seeing a lighter skin is acceptable, obviously that's what they're gonna go for. You know what I mean? So it's enrooted inside of them. They can't help it.
I watched a program. We don't have much programs in the UK that relates to dark skin, African skin. Oftentimes you hear us making reference to America, because as you know, the African Americans are fighting and pushing hard to get some sort of equality and make situation better for all of us. If it happens in America, it happens in England, it happens in other European countries. For me, I see the Black American or the African American as trailblazers for our success in the rest of the European world. So this is the reason why I support them strongly in this campaign. Kind of our freedom, because we think we're free, but we're not free. We're still under some sort of enslavement indirectly. or directly.
You're never free.
This program that I watched was a young lad, about 1920, and he was asked the question, which woman would she prefer? A lighter skinned woman, not even a white European woman or American woman. Was actually asked about the skin tone. What would you prefer? Without a bit, he went lighter skin, of course. I don't date black woman, darker woman. No, they don't even turn me on. I don't even see them attractive.
That is so sad.
Even the person who was doing the interview was taken back, because it wasn't only what he said, it's how he said it. The special expression, it was like disgusting to be darker or to date a darker skinned woman. And he went on. And then the other friend had to say, well, yes, but your mom is black, right?
What I was going to ask you, what was his complexion?
He was dark, but I was a dark guy, almost the same skin tone as me, or even almost slightly darker.
He's basically cussing his mother, his own mother.
Well, you took the word out of my mouth, because this is what his friend that was standing next. Oh, if you're frowning in your face and saying what you're saying, I mean, you're talking about your mother. Don't you like your mother? Oh, don't bring the mom into it. I say, I will bring your mom, because she said you don't like a darker woman, and a darker woman pushed you out.
Exactly. Can't get away from it.
I think it's as you said rightly, it's also a mental illness.
Yeah, it is.
We are not astute to the subject.
Mm-hmm.
We're ignorant to the subject.
Yes.
We think it's normal. You look at folks like Kanye West, who are talking some ridiculous thing about history that he has not read upon.
Really?
Folks have died, have fought, and the least you can do is respect the subject.
Ignorance.
It's the biggest thing in our community. Mm-hmm. I think the more we read and do research and find out and source, even in our continent of Africa, I don't think we've embraced the Africanness. Our history books, since they were stolen, we've not been able to rewrite it. And the few authors, trailblazers who are writing about our histories, we're not picking up their books to find out what they're actually saying, which is a shame. Because we're losing out a lot in history, and the more we don't understand our history, the deeper the hole we dig for ourselves, because we end up going too far west, and then we lost our way, and then when reality kicks in, or we are segregated upon or pushed out of the door to say, sorry, mate. I know you have this beautiful, lovely woman by your side, but you're too dark to be in this community. Then that's when we want to go and start reading history. That's when we freak out. That's when we started shouting, saying, oh, they don't like us. No, you don't like yourself, because you're not reading your history.
That's why I love Akala, because
absolutely
he's so rich with knowledge. You know, you can learn so much from him. The one thing that I admire his mother for is sending him to the Pan-African lessons on Saturdays. And that has really shone through in his life. It's really helped him a whole lot. Now that he can go into history deep, you know, his father is Jamaican, his mom is Caucasian, you know, but the father never accepted the fact that she went with a black man, so kicked her out. So she moved down into London, into an area where she know that it's going to benefit her children. Because
I think another message we need to send via this streaming is, it is highly beneficial for you to study African history or African American history. Study your history, invest in your history. Like, why am I saying that or encouraging you to do that? Because when you know where you come from, no one can take that away from you. They can beat your flesh, but they cannot beat your spirit, because you know who you are. Knowing who you are is a biblical foundation, and it is a source. There's a reason why folks are writing these books. There's a reason why folks are trying for us to embrace our culture. You should be proud of being black, or whatever it is.
Oh man, the pigmentation, the melanin is rich. We're oozing with it.
That's
Why
right.
would you want to bleach and get rid of that?
Why would you want to bleach? That's the question.
This bleaching is money business. It's a huge business.
We're going to touch on that a lot in the part 2, but we are just going to introduce kind of paganic monetization of this bleaching to the next level, because all it is doing is setting you up for failure. It is setting you up for disease and sicknesses that you might not be able to cure.
The thing is, once they start bleaching, they can't go out in the sun because they're scared of getting black again. And what is the sun for?
Fact of the matter is, if even you go outside, because you've removed your God-given pigmentation, you're now exposing yourself to sun rays.
Exactly.
Which means you're now prone to cancer, to skin cancer, to all sorts of cancer. And guys, if you do your research on cancer, we have to talk about cancer maybe in the new year, because with this year we want to focus on the kind of bedrock, the things that are burning our hearts.
Exactly, because it's more prone in the lighter skin.
Indeed.
Australia has got the highest rate of cancer, and that is because in Australia it's predominantly white.
I won't be surprised.
Aborigines, you don't hear them having cancer.
Not at all. Not at all. So it's a shame that folks in Africa, in India, or wherever you are, with your beautiful dark skin, you are trying to lighten it just to fit in society. Guys, you got to stop it, because it will cost you more in the latter years than it is now. If you think you're spending $10 or $50 or $100 on bleaching cream, wait until you have that skin disease. Then you know how much it will cost.
Exactly. Because I watched a video of, I don't know if you know of this entertainer. It's a Jamaican entertainer. His name is Vibes Cartel. Don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, I haven't.
He's from Jamaica. He's very talented, but he's bleaching. And his excuse was there's nothing wrong with bleaching. And he wants to embrace the youths, because this is what he believed that the people are doing. So he wants to show them that, okay, it's
That's
okay
baloney.
to do it. Teenager has bleached his skin, and he thinks that it's okay because no one has ever died from cancer. No one has ever caught cancer from bleaching themselves.
That's because
this is what he says.
He's ignorant.
Exactly. But what they don't realize that the chemicals in the bleaching cream, it's got mercury, it's steroids, it's got what's the word, hydroquinone or something like that. It's called. It's poisonous to your body, because once you rub that onto your skin, your pores open up and it seeps into your body, and that's what you're putting inside of you, and that creates problems.
This is the tipping point for our community. When the fewer role models we have in our community acting stupid, because you have millions of African American and European, even folks in India, the African Indians, and looking up to you. We don't have many on television. We don't have many on the media that are behaving themselves or that are making it. And you happen to break even to make it. You have the platform. Instead of edifying the youth, you are acting silly. It's a disgrace. This is the reason why the West will never take us seriously, because we don't tend to have serious bones in ourselves. We always kind of flickering here and there. We're not consistent with most of the things we do. And the strong people that we have, they will be advising us. They will be talking to us. Folks like Oprah, they're giving us all the signs, all the guidelines. Folks like Dr. Maya Angelou, they've said the same thing. All the folks before us, they have guided us. They've given us the code. Folks, I think it's better for us to read, to learn. Right? Even now, you don't even have to read, because everything is on YouTube. Just look up the name.
Videos, yeah.
You look at videos if you don't want to read. Instead of spending your time doing nothing, learn about your culture, about your history, because it will help your psychology, it boosts your confidence, and it also gives you idea on how to navigate the world. So we're trying to encourage you guys to learn about your history, know where you come from, know your roots. It is important. Bob Marley, I remember those days when he used to sing. All the songs we used to sing, we sang Bob Marley's song in jokes and in laughter and in pleasure. We didn't realize that he was giving us the code or codes.
It was all in there, all in his song.
It was all in his song. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Yes.
Don't give up the fight.
That's right.
Let's just drive back as we come to an end of part 1 of colorism. We know it's a cultural influence because of the West. As you talked about the monetary issue, they are trying to hit the Black economy. We are huge in consumer. We consume a lot. We buy a lot. We are the biggest buyers. Africa consume. We fail to even start making stuff ourselves. We just import. They are buying, whoever they are that are making all of these chemicals or that are doing this colorism and futurism, that are saying this is how we have to look like. You got to look like letter A. You can't be voluptuous and beautiful. These folks are trying to take us away from our roots and bring us to an unknown place. And I must say to you guys watching, they're not taking you to their space.
No,
they kid you not. They want to leave you hanging. So when you leave your Africanness, your African Caribbeanness, your African Europeanness, you go and start changing parts and beats and whatever. You think you come here, go to America, and then you will be accepted. No, you will not be accepted, because they will find something and say, no, you have not ticked all the boxes. Then what next? Look at Michael Jackson. It's a good example of what you should and shouldn't do.
Exactly.
You start with your nose, you go to your ears, then your cheekbones, then your lips, then your skin tone. So you have to look in a particular way and have a particular weight and have a particular shape. You must be kidding me. I love my food. I gotta send that rice down and that fufu down. I love my cassava. Are you kidding? You're not taking that away from me. That's my sustenance.
Rice, my curry chicken.
Exactly. You got curry.
My jerk chicken.
Your jerk chicken, your rice and peas. Come tell me, don't misunderstand me, folks. I love the salads. I love the healthy eating. Guys, you gotta throw in those chunk of rice. Especially if you're coming from India, the local rice that you grow, or from Africa, the local rice you grow, those good rice. Not the one that is polished and put in a bag for you to eat. No, the one from the farm to your plates. They are perfect.
All right. It's not going to happen.
So the cultural influences we need to push back on. We got to embrace our beauty.
Oh, God.
The darker you are, the pleasant you are, the beautiful you are. You and the sun are one. The sun loves you and you loves the sun.
Embrace it.
Keep your fro. I'm not saying don't wear makeup. I'm not saying that. Don't be too extreme. To be too extreme is even a sin.
Don't bleach, please. I'm begging you guys.
Don't go do plastic surgery.
Yeah, love who you are. God has created you this way.
Keep the melanin flowing.
Yeah.
The darker, the better. How did they say again?
The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
The sweeter the juice. Yes. So please, guys, please, as we're wrapping up now.
Can I just say, I read something by this young lady, Naya Hernandez. I hope I'm getting it right. Anyway, she said here, there is no way to ease the mental damage and incarceration that slave owners suffocated Black people with. But if consciously recognize the colorism and futurism that surrounds us, then maybe we can slowly reteach how we think and look at one another. The only people we can truly learn from and look up to are our ancestors and mothers, but more importantly, ourselves.
That is powerful. You need to send that for me. I love that. I love that. That is powerful. And another thing we didn't touch on this part 1 is the falseness of fairer skin. You are lied to, and this been going back again. to the 1700s during the slave trade. You're lied to that if you're fairer, you're attractive. I'm not saying that natural fairer people are not attractive. I'm saying those who are bleaching their darker skin to be lighter. That's that lie. The lies they're told is that if you change your skin tone, or if you're lighter, you're attractive. That's a lie from hell, from the pits of hell, that you're intelligent. Lie. You're worthy of attention and praise. Again, that's lie. All of this strategy was to divide us so they can conquer us, okay? Because, say, for example, if Miss Aretha is a shade lighter than me or 2 shades lighter than me, they would bring enmity between me and her so that we don't get on.
Exactly.
One thing you have to remember, Aretha cannot go into their community because they classify her as still, what is it? Black, right? Miss Aretha, it doesn't matter your skin tone, you're still black.
Still black.
I am still black, you're still black.
Oh, yes.
So when the reality hits,
in their eyes is no difference.
Thank you. It is a global phenomenon. It's happening in Asia, not just Africa. It's happened in Europe, okay, where some darker European skin-toned folks, like the Spanish, they try to use bleaching cream. You'll be surprised. Vietnamese or Chinese or Japanese.
Yes.
Because the world is promoting this falsification that if you're lighter, you have all the privileges in the world. But what you cannot take away from yourself is your origin. You can be as light as you wish to be, but you're still African in your blood, in your core. And you know our culture is very strong. You cannot stand straight without rolling your head or your eyes or easing your teeth or wagging your finger. That is African. So your skin can be white, but these things would happen. And then what would you do? Are you going to change that as well? You know, we don't talk quietly. It's not natural because we have vocals. We're born to speak with confidence. So what are you going to do with that? You're going to change it and start doing, hello, how are you? So come on, guys, wake up.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Be real. Change the skin tone, but you cannot change the character.
No.
You can change the skin tone, but you cannot change your roots.
No, you can't.
You can change the skin tone, but you cannot change your origin, your mother. Your mother is dark. Your father is dark.
Exactly.
You can change the skin tone, but you cannot change who you truly are, which is the God, grace, feel, beautiful African king and queens. So come on, guys, let's wake up and stop giving your money to these people that are taking your money, failing to tell you the truth of all the chemicals that they put in this bleaching cream to kill you and to deform you and your children.
And if there's anyone out there bleaching, please read the bleaching cream. If it's got hydroquinone in it, it's poisonous to the skin. If it's got mercury and steroids, these 3 things, it is poisonous to the system. Do not take it.
And mercury is a poison, by the way.
It is
a poison. It can kill your baby in your womb.
Yes,
if you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Or it can deform the child as well. So, and also
destroy the kidney.
It destroys the kidney. Exactly.
Yes.
Another thing I found out is it thins your skin. So your skin becomes thinner, which means you're prone to accident. Anything that cuts through your skin.
They be forever getting laceration.
Laceration, yes. Yeah. And your skin will take longer to heal as well.
And our skin is the largest organ on our body. Why would you want to destroy that? Come on, wake up, people, please. Don't do it. It's not good.
Yeah. We hope, as we wrap up now, this subconscious administration the slave masters or the enslavers have imparted in us for generations, and we keep giving birth to them. We hope this will stop. We hope that we would not continue with this. Our generation will stop the next generation from inflicting pain on themselves. Let us stop allowing other people to capitalize on our ignorance. Read the books. There are excellent writers and authors, philosophers in the land of Africa, not to mention America. So pick up the book, watch the videos, learn about colorism. Don't separate. There are people who are born naturally lighter. They are beautiful, just as you are beautiful if you're dark skin tone. They are attractive, and so are you if you're dark skin tone. They are intelligent, and so are you if you're dark skin tone. Most importantly, they are worthy of attention and praise, and so are you if you're dark skin tone. The bottom line is, it's about the human race and not about colorism. We are all made in the image and likeness of God. You are the earth. You are motherland, Africa. When you look at the earth, you see beautiful, dark, brownish, goldish soil. And that is what you're made up of. So cherish it, folks. And we hope that you have got something out of this talk. And Miss Orita, I'll leave you to conclude. Give your word of encouragement.
Stay strong. Believe in yourself. You know, you can be whoever you want to be, regardless of the color of your skin. Just continue to fight the good fight and don't buy into their lies. Bleaching your skin is not the answer. So stay strong and stay away from the bleach. It's not good for you, my sister and my brothers. God bless you all.